Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine, and we're here with you-know-who, Dondra Ritzenthaler, who is the CEO, the new CEO of Azamara Cruises. We are on her cruise. Her cruise that has left Miami is going to Panama City through the Panama Canal. It's very exciting. And the ABC Islands. I didn't realize it was Aruba, Bonaire,
and Curacao.
But anyway, so and what we're finding out is about one of the big differentiators, which is, of course, a destination immersion, seeing what that feels like, and we're going to explain about that and more here on Insider Travel Report. "40 years in the business, you retire completely, you visit your mom, you visit your sister. You get certified to dive.
I clean everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't become a pilot. And then the next thing we know, you're not retired."
I didn't love it. Alan, I just felt like I wasn't done yet. You know, I thought...
Learning Spanish wasn't enough either.
Yeah, and I actually didn't do so well with that one. I did everything else. But, you know, I just realized that I missed travel advisors. I missed the business. I missed the craziness, believe it or not. It was just too quiet. You know, my kids are out of the house. And, you know, I always said I was going to retire at 60. And I thought that I would be really busy. And I just wasn't. So I'm so honored and thrilled to be back.
All right. And now let's also talk about the quick overview, because you were there at the beginning of the company, which I hadn't realized.
Yeah.
And you were there for the naming, how you named it Azamara. And so I want to know about that and the logo. How did that all come about?
So Dan Hanrahan was the president, and Keith Lane was in sales, and Lisa Lutoff-Perlo and me, right? So Richard Fain said, we want to start a new brand. We want the celebrity team to be the ones that, you know, bring it out. And so together we named it. We named all the restaurants where we're sitting right now, Aquilina and Prime C. We named them. Yep. And so we brought these, at the time it was 2 ships, these beautiful Quest and Journey ships out. And we named it Azamara Cruises, because it's Akamar, which is blue and ocean. Right. And we really, everybody needs to know this, we really wanted the name to be with an A.
I know. You want an A cruise line.
It's all alphabetically, right? So, you know, when you list all of the cruise lines and you do them alphabetically, we're always at the top. And that was Dan's idea years and years ago.
You said at one of your meetings during this trip that you liked small. Tell us why you like small.
The small size. You know, the very first week that I started back in May, I went to the first ship. And I had kind of forgotten, Alan, how small the ships are. And they're so amazingly small and cute. Yeah. And so when I went on the first time, and I thought, okay, I need an hour or two to see the ship. And I think it took 20 minutes, because I love the size of our beautiful little ship with the 350 staterooms and only holds 700 guests. It's such a great size.
See, for me, those other ships take me hours to take pictures. This is going to be much easier. But what I have to say is that it's still fully equipped. There's a lot to do.
Yes.
There's more restaurants and bars than you would expect for this size.
And there's a theater, and there's a spa, and there's a gym, you know, and a lounge. And I mean,
the gym was pretty good.
Right. That what it does is it has most everything the big ships have, but just in this very small and intimate way. And that's kind of one of the things I love the most about it.
Here's something. We're on our Curacao trip. You were with us. And the guide said, and if you look over there, well, you can't really see it because it's smaller than the other ships. And it was funny that there was another ship's...
there.
The other big ships were showing, but yours was not showing, which is a good thing.
And I love that, right? Because that's what our guests tell us all the time that they really love about us, is that, you know, there's this beautiful little ships, but really provides an authentic but boutique-y kind of feel. And that's why our guests keep coming back. And now you've talked to a lot of them, and you know that.
Let's talk about you had said, and it makes sense, that one of the reasons you think you were given this job is because of your relationship with travel advisors. And I want to talk now just about that, travel advisors.
I really do believe that. You know, it's not every day that a 60-year-old female that's already retired and been in the front side of the business pretty much my whole career gets this opportunity. But I think that the company really realized that we are, 85, 86% sold by travel advisors. And I think that people realize that I'm authentically close to travel advisors. And I think that that's one of the reasons that I've been given this opportunity. And so I owe a lot to travel advisors, very loyal and committed to travel advisors. And I always will be, because they've been there for me, and honestly, I've been there for them.
And this is an extension of what you've learned. So you're right now talking to them about what to stop doing, what to start doing, what to continue doing?
Yeah, so we have literally done 12 of these around the world. One in the UK, one in Canada, and the rest in the States. And what we did is we invited somewhere between 75 and 100 travel advisors, and it was about a 5-hour afternoon, and we listened to them. And it was called the Azamara Listen, Learn, and Link Together Tour. And we listened. And we listened to, what do you think we should start, stop, and continue? And the reason I think that was so valuable is because I don't come into this job pretending that I have all the answers. And if I can listen to 1,200 plus travel advisors, along with the Azamara team and our loyal guests, because see, it was a trifecta. It was what our team said, what our travel advisor said, and what our loyalty guests said. And I really believe that now, taking all of that into consideration, we will do the things that all of them taught us, and I think that's going to make us very successful.
Do you have any examples you can give us just to show us how great this was?
First and foremost, it was continue to invest in your ships, because you want them to continue to look beautiful, and you can see that from being on, that they're beautiful. The culinary experience, what can we do? Should we change the menus more often? Those types of things. Conversations around, we need to spend more co-op money with you, so we increase the co-op money.
Like that.
And we did. Y'all love that, right? But it's those types of things. How is Wi-Fi going to play a role? And so we're really now taking all of those, and we're going, okay, what are the things we focus on?
Then now you have a new IT person, Paulette. What's her last name?
Hado.
And so what we talked about is, you are going to take any bit of Azamara that's maybe a little old-fashioned and bring it up to date. So we heard about maybe an app. Make the pain points in the internet go away.
Yeah, we just want to be frictionless. The word that we're after is frictionless, right? And so Paulette came on as our head of IT, and she's so well versed. She's been with several different cruise lines throughout her tenure, and she really knows IT. And what we want to do is create this frictionless end-to-end journey for our guest. And that is everything from the website when you're dreaming, through how we work with our travel advisors, to the experience on board with an app. And so these are things that you're going to see, Alan, us do in the future, right? And then there's things like travel advisor tools. We had not the traditional brochure. And so, listening to Michelle Lardizabal, who runs our North America sales organization, now we've gone in and we've done proper brochures that not only tell you the dreaming part of what Azamara does, but also the itineraries, where we go with the maps. And so these are things that we're just listening, and we're making these changes. And while they may not, each one individually may not be so big, but the sum of the parts is making a real big difference.
But I liked being here on your cruise because I got to watch you in action. For example, the muster drill. You said, we can improve this.
Well, it's funny because there's different ways to do muster drills. And with safety always being the number one priority, we're doing it that way because we think that that's very safe. But I do think that there's things that we can look at in the future that will keep us just as safe and knowledgeable, and maybe tweak it just a little bit.
So I know that one of the reasons that people keep coming back is because of your crew, your team, and the customer service. Let's talk about that for a moment.
So, I think I've asked 300-400 people on this ship, what's the thing you love most about Azamara?
You've been talking to everybody, and you were serving crepe Suzette. And all the people you must have talked to last night at the White thing.
It was great. White night was amazing on here. I would say 95+%. Almost every single time they say, Dondra, your crew is magic. And so it's that hospitality gene that everybody on the ship, and honestly, in Miami, and our call center in Wichita and, in different ones in the UK, is that we really do care about our guests. And I know many, many companies will say that, but for us to be able to hear that, on Net Promoter Scores, that our crew on board get scores of 100 from our guest.
And so my story that I wanted to share with you is that yesterday at White Night, I had a plate of lobster tails.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, and then I'm looking for the next thing that will go next to it on my plate. And the chef turns around quickly because they're busy, and his elbow goes up, and the lobster tails go into my white shirt and stain my shirt. And the first thing the chef did was first he apologized, and then he said, "And what's your cabin number?" And I was like, "Oh, I know why." I said my cabin number, and then this morning, my steward knocked on the door. Mr. Fine, we'd like your shirt, please.
Exactly. And, that's just one, Alan, and obviously I'm really sorry that happened. But that's one example. Today somebody had a 40th birthday, and they walked into Prime C last night, and there was a beautiful cake that said happy 40th birthday. A week ago, I talked to one of our loyal guests who said that she loves oatmeal raisin cookies, and there wasn't any at Mosaic. And she made a comment to the gentleman that was, serving her cafe latte, right? And the next morning, there was oatmeal raisin cookies, not only at Mosaic, which is our coffee bar, but also delivered to her room. And so it's just those little things. So when you combine things like the things I talked to you about and those little special touches, see, to me, it's the sum of the parts that really separate Azamara from anybody else.
Let's give a call to action.
Okay.
So Azamara.com, but the travel advisor should be going where?
Well, we have the Azamara Connect, right? So first and foremost,
connect.azamara.com.
Yes. So first and foremost, we just launched, one of the other things that we've done as a team is we launched the Azamara World Academy. Because what we learned is there's not enough advisors out there who really, really, really know us. They know a little bit. So we did the Azamara World Academy. We have the Azamara Connect, which is the one-stop shop. You go to Azamara Connect, Alan, and you get everything. You get our marketing pieces, you get what our phone numbers are, you get all of our policies, you name it. At Azamara Connect, it's the one place to go for everything.
Okay, but they're going to type in Azamara Connect, but it's connect.azamara.com.
Exactly. Connect.azamara.com, to be very specific. I love working with him for that reason.
I want you to get everything you can get out of this recording. Anyway, so thank you for talking to us.
You know what? I want to thank you because you came to this cruise. You brought your beautiful wife. And I've seen you go in and really immerse yourself in this experience. I've seen you taking pictures in almost every room. I know that you went with us on, to Curacao yesterday. And what that means to me is that you not only care about your job and what you do in this industry for travel advisors, but you also cared about us. And I want you to know I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.